Hey everybody, come on in. It's your girl V. Got that business banking going on. I told you about a little bit earlier. Told you we was going to be here on the red stool at 11:30, and then we're going to have lunch and learn from 12 to 2. Okay? All right. Somebody check in for me. Let me make sure that you can see me, hear me, and everything is good. Give me a thumbs up. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Melissa Bonner. Thank you. Okay. Y'all know I like to start on time, so we might have to go ahead and get started so I don't hold the fellas up. Hey, Linda Bumpus. I don't hold them up, and then that way we can start having you come in if you want. Linda, swing by if you can today for me, okay? Hey, Dr. Felice, how are you? Chevelle Simmons, hello, how are you? I have Gary and Wesley with me. They the bad guys over there at Cadence. Well, the bad good guys over there at Cadence Bank. I'm going to say that because they already been cutting up in here. Yes. Hello, Miss Butcher. How are you? Thank you for joining in with us today. So I heard that everybody been talking about me being missing in action. Just been trying to educate. So when I give you that information about these clothes and fashion style and all that good jazzy stuff, I know what I'm talking about. So I was out Monday, Tuesday, and yesterday, and I'll be back. And then we're going to have Friday Night Live tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We'll be back on that thing. We have a nice little theme for you there. And then Saturday, I'll be here. The fire chief will be coming in to be on the red stool and talk to you guys about what she do, how she do it, and everything. So we got a packed little weekend for you, okay? Of course, you know we'll be here Saturday from 11 to 2. Once we place those orders and pick up time will be 11 to 2 on Saturday, okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I got a couple of people on here. I'm sure I have more people watching that I cannot see. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this camera so I can introduce you to these great guys. There's Gary over there. Gary is over at Cadence Bank. Now, he's going to tell you all he do because I can't remember everything that they do. And then I have Wesley over here. Wesley's also going to tell you exactly what he do over there. And they're going to be here after we do the red stool. They're going to be here and available for you to come through. Now, you remember I told you when I posted this morning, there's no question too big or too small. The only ones that are not good questions are the ones that we don't ask. So if we don't ask, we can't get information. If they don't know, I'm sure they'll dig and find some information or somebody in the banking area that knows for us. Hello, Manya. How are you? Sonia Vanderboom, how are you? Thank you for joining in with us. And so, Manya, you're more than welcome. Any of you ladies are more than welcome to stop through here and meet these guys on a one-on-one. We will have lunch for about the first 10 to 12 people that come through here. We should have a lunch for you to be able to pick up and go, but definitely want you to meet them so that you'll know that you have someone in the local community that you can walk up to or physically pick up the phone and call and speak to a live person versus an automated system, okay? All right, Angela Mims, how are you? Thank you for joining in with us, okay? All right, I'm gonna start with Gary. I'm gonna let Gary go ahead and take it over because I worked with him personally for a while. About a month ago, I think you all know that we did have David from Cadence Bank come in and speak with us in reference to business banking. And I did open an account with them, business banking as well as personal. And I worked with Gary. He did my business card and everything. So he do more than just, small stuff. He can help you guys with refi, the whole 9 yards and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to tell you all about himself, what he do, how he do it, how you can contact him. And I want you to please stop through today so that you can meet them personally. Always good to have a local community bank that we deal with, okay? All right, so Gary, you can go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you all for inviting me and having me here. My name is Gary Rosser, and I'm actually a CRA mortgage loan originator now with Cadence Bank. When I met Ms. Sharp the first time, I was actually the manager at our Walnut location, which Wesley, you'll meet just a second, is actually now the manager there. So now I just strictly do mortgages. So with mortgages, of course, refinancing and regular mortgages are my specialty. And helping in the community is where I'm supposed to be. I am a CRA, which means Community Reinvestment Act, where banks are really in charge of helping the communities that they serve. And with Cadence Bank, that is not just words that we're putting on a paper. We actually put it in action, from doing different services, whether it's working with the Big Brothers Big Sisters, Salvation Army, those type of things, but also within the community of providing home loans to people that may, need a little bit of help. So with that being said, those type of loans we can finance up to 100%. They're geared towards low to moderate income areas, but also too, they don't require a down payment or mortgage insurance that can sometimes drive up the monthly cost of the home for you. So there are a lot of different options that we have. That's just one that I specialize in, and for the low to moderate income area. So a lot of times you may make 80% below, you may be 80% below the median income, and we're able to still be able to finance you. And that's what our goal is to be able to get people in the homes in the community, because by getting people in homes, then our communities are able to grow and thrive, and money is being returned back into the community. So that's a big part of my job. So today, I would like to talk to you about a couple of things. One, the biggest thing is being prepared and have an idea what you're looking to do. So if you're looking to purchase a home, have an idea of what's comfortable for you with the payment. I may approve you for something that is way out of your ballpark and comfort level. So just have an idea. And the easy way to do that is, if you're paying, let's say, $700 in rent, maybe start taking out an extra $300, putting it in your savings account, see how that affects your lifestyle. See if it makes things a little bit tighter on the budget, or it gives you a lot of flexibility. That way, when we're able to sit down and talk, you've got an idea of what's a comfortable payment for you. And then that way we can also use that to get the house in the range that you would like. So that will help determine that.
So I'm sorry, Gary, you said that if they have the score, the Beacon score or whatever, that you are able to provide financing at 100% to some areas?
Yes, to
Okay.
some areas. So for those that, if you have a 640 credit score, we can provide up to 100% financing in certain circumstances. Those circumstances are, one, if you're purchasing a home in a low to moderate income area, it's actually for our underserved area, or if you make less than 80% of the median income. And so for Bibb County, the median income is about $61,000 for a family. So if you're the people that are being on the loan, if they are making roughly about $48,000 or below, then we can provide them that same type of loan at 100% financing. And also, if that community is 50% minority, whether you're a minority or not, as long as that community that your place you're moving into is 50% minority, and I have a way of looking all of that information up, then we can do 100% financing. We cannot have the mortgage insurance on there. We can have no origination fees, which is typically 1%. So to kind of give you an idea, on a $100,000 house, that'll be about $1,000 it'll save you. And then there's some other little closing costs too that you're able to save. So usually it saves you somewhere close to probably about $1,500 to $2,000. And that's called our affordable home loans. And it is exactly as it says, it's trying to make homes affordable for people to get into. And this, whether it's a $40,000 home, it can go all the way to a $548,000 home, as long as you meet within those qualifications.
Okay.
And
so
one little caveat too: we can do 97% if you have a 620 credit score.
Oh, okay. So how many people can be on this loan for that makes the 61? Is that the amount that has to be 61 or less? Or can two people be on? Say for instance, I make 61, and my husband makes 61, or whatever. Can we both be on it?
Well, actually, neither one of you qualify because it has to be 80% of that 61, which is 48,000.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But to use that scenario, if you combine the two together, as long as it does not exceed that 48,000.
Okay.
So, but if it exceeds it, then you can look at possibly, like I've got a husband and wife now. He only makes $32,000, but he doesn't have any debt to go with it. So he's able to afford a house roughly in the neighborhood of about $200,000.
Okay.
Because he falls below that median income.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. All right. So, any questions for Gary? Anybody? Any questions that you can think of? You can ask questions here. They'll answer them for you right now. Nobody has anything right at the moment. As soon as I flip to Wesley, they'll probably start asking.
Well,
So, Gary,
I want to go.
you can keep
well,
going.
No, just two more points too.
We got plenty of time. You keep
Okay.
going. Yeah.
When you're looking at income too, a big part of it is if you're self-employed. We do business all day long with customers that are self-employed. Part of what we need though is to make sure your business is a viable business. So which means that each year your profits are increasing, not decreasing. So sometimes it means you need to get with your accountant because their job is to save you as much money on the tax end as possible. But that actually hurts you on the banking side. Because as banking, we want to see as much income as possible. That makes us feel nice and warm and fuzzy and cozy, the more income that we see. Also, a lot of times when you're thinking about your credit and different things, you're like, well, I'll pay cash for everything. Banks don't like that because it doesn't show that you have that ability to be able to handle debt and be able to pay that debt down. So you do want to have some, usually we look at probably about 3 lines of credit, active credit being used. Typically, you can have at least 2 showing on a credit bureau report, and then you can add something that may be a little bit different, like your Windstream bill, your telephone bill. Those type of things can come in as that 3rd credit bureau.
Okay. Okay. And so I have a question here, Gary. He's Shirley Reed asked, did you say that a person with 31,000 income could be approved for a $200,000 home?
Yes, if their debt to income ratio, this person had no other bills. So when you look at the debt to income ratio, which is usually 43%, is 43% of their income. And I'm not going to embarrass myself and try to do the math on that real quickly in my head. But it can roughly equate to maybe $1,200 is what payment they can afford.
Okay.
And so then when you look at it for a $200,000 home with that insurance and taxes on there, that's about kind of close to where it comes to.
Okay. Okay. So do you all work with a realtor directly, or do you have your own in-house realtors? Anybody like that?
No, we definitely don't have our in-house realtors. We work with all realtors that's what we're there for. We're there for the community. So a realtor a lot of times will refer me to the client because they want to see a client get pre-approved before they come there, because another realtor, when they're going to make an offer, they're going to want that pre-approval letter that this person is serious about it. You sometimes have people that want it, and I used to do it as a kid with my mom. Just kind of want to go look at the different houses.
Right.
That was exciting, but nowadays that's money for realtors, so they're not necessarily want to take people just looking on houses. They want to know that people are serious. So getting them pre-qualified is a big first step for them, because once you're pre-qualified, they know what range to look for, and then they also know that you're serious.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, Gary, and I know you do on the business banking side. Do you do with the business credit cards and all?
Actually, that's going to actually be my partner, Wesley.
That's Wesley. Okay.
Wesley handles all of that aspects now of the banking.
Okay, so you just do basically now. You strictly do pretty much the homes, home refis, a whole 9 yards with that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And like home equity lines of credit, that would actually be Wesley also that will be able to do those for you too.
Okay. Here's another question for you. Is it a good idea to pay off all credit cards prior to buying a home?
It depends on when you're paying them off. You don't want to pay them off and then like the next day, all of a sudden you want to look for a pre-qualification, because what's going to happen is we're going to want to know where the money came from, and we're going to need trails of it, and plus it won't show up on your credit bureau yet. But if you do it 30 days prior to actually put in the pre-qual application, when we pull your credit, it will show that it's already paid off, and it'll just make things a lot different. So you want to be very cautious on what you're doing at the time when you're applying. So don't apply for a home and then go look at getting a car while you're doing a home loan process. So you usually, that's why you see a lot of people, once they finish buying a home, the next thing they do is buy the car, because they've been waiting on that. You don't want to have credit and different things pulled, because it can change the dynamics of your loan right there. So like if you're at a 630 credit score, you had to pull during the middle, and we had to pull it one more time before we finished, and you drop below it, well, now you don't qualify for the loan.
Okay.
So that can be very dangerous doing those type of things with your credit.
Okay. Here's another one for you. If married, do you have to include a spouse in the process?
You do not. And for instance, on my home loan, I am the only person on the actual loan. But my wife want to make sure if something happens, she get her hand.
That's right.
So she's on the title.
The title. Okay.
So she's on the title. So I prefer it that way for me, just because life happens.
Right.
So if something catastrophic happens, we can just start shifting to her side of the credit and different things, because she won't be affected by the loan that I'm carrying.
Oh, okay.
But that's
Makes sense.
not personal. That's how I just handle it personally. It just makes it a little bit easier for us if one person has the debt and the income part of it, and then that way she's free if anything happens.
So tell me, what if you pull my credit to try to see if I would qualify for either a refinance or buying a home or something like that, and say for instance at that particular time I really don't qualify right now, and you say, hey, let's wait 3 to 6 months or whatever, so that means you got to pull a credit again, because that's going to be another hard hit.
Absolutely, and that's why you want to, that's another part of that preparation, is have an idea what your credit score is.
Okay.
Because if you know you're at a 550, you don't want me pulling your credit, because that's going to do nothing but hurt it with the inquiries.
Okay.
Because you know then it's going to be 2 inquiries. One there showing it's 550, and me again trying to see if we're ready for it. Usually, like for me personally, I use Credit Karma just because it gives me a score. Now that score is not going to be the exact score that's going to be in there.
Right.
Usually it's somewhere about 15 to 20 off, either below or above. But what it does is it gives you a lot of good factors that are affecting your credit.
Okay.
And using that can help you increase that score. Because also too, if you're at the lower end of the spectrum, typically you're going to pay a little bit more.
Okay.
So you may say, hey, well, I'm at a 700 now, but if I do these 1 or 2 quick items, I can be at a 720. Well, 720 can reduce some of your costs. So it can be very beneficial knowing where you're at score-wise.
Okay. I have another question for you. Is there a difference in financing when buying to live in or to rent, for rental property?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So most rental properties, you're going to be looking at 80% financing, and there are going to be a lot of different little factors on the investment side of it, as opposed to when it's a primary. You got to think of it this way: primary people, that's the last thing they're going to let go, is their primary home.
Okay.
So banks feel a lot safer and secure with the primary home, as opposed to if things go terribly wrong for you. Well, I've got to let this other house go. I'm still keep my primary. Okay. So it's a little bit less secure than that primary home.
Okay. Okay. Can you talk to us a little bit about the second, like having a second mortgage, or either taking out a second loan or whatever on the house, as far as like if you want to use it, like I want to remodel my home, or if I wanted to add some stuff to, whatever. Right. How does that work?
Well, and I'll tell you how it works. Cadence actually we don't do the second loan. So we would look at doing it within the refinance, or that's where the home equity line of credit would come into play for somebody looking at doing some repairs on the home. Because we really don't, try to finance that in there. We can under certain circumstances, but really that's more of your home equity line of credit. Okay. For that part. But how it works if you do it, let's say with another bank, is your first mortgage is in what's called the first lien position. So that means that if you default on a loan, that is the person that gets paid first. By doing the second lien on there, that's the next person that will get paid. Well, there's not necessarily a guarantee that there'll be enough left for that person, so they typically charge a little bit higher rate for those second liens.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But also too, there's not the flexibility as it is with the home equity line.
Okay.
So with that type of loan, you get the money out and you're paying on them, as opposed to with a home equity line like Westley can do, it's a line of credit. So it acts like just like a credit card you keep in the drawer. When you pull it out and use it, you pay for it, pay it down, you can keep reusing it back and forth.
Okay. Okay. I have another question for you from Ms. White. She asked, what are some things to help with increasing credit scores? She said, recently paid an auto loan which decreased my score instead of, hang on one second, Daph, let me see, I don't wanna, instead of improving it. So she said she paid off her auto loan, but it decreased the score instead of improving it.
There are a couple different things that can factor into it. One is your age of credit is huge.
Okay.
So that's why they say sometimes, man, you can't close that out because you've had it for a while and that age of credit is factored into your score. So if it's something that's new, it's going to hurt your score. That's why usually when you get some type of new credit, it'll actually, your score will go down. But as that credit ages, your age of your credit goes up, and so then your score goes up. So for instance, I've got a card that I've had for over 20 something years. To me, I can really never close it because it's part of my anchor credit for my number of years. So typically, if I get something, a new credit, for instance, I try to pay it off and then I would close it while it's new if I didn't need it. So like, let's say one of the places you go into, they give you 10%. Christmas shopping, my wife spending Lowe's and it'll save several $100s. So I may get that card for that time just so I can get the benefit of it. Knowing it's going to drop my score a little bit, but then I pay it right off and I close it so my age of my credit isn't hurt. I do get hurt by the inquiry, but my age of my credit doesn't hurt because that's no longer being counted against me.
Okay, so if we've had lengthy credit for credit cards or something like that, greater than 10, 12 years, so you saying pay them down but not pay them off?
Well, you can pay it off, just I would not close it.
Okay.
So
okay.
unless, and see, here's the caveat where it's a double-edged sword. If you have late payments on it, that's where it can be a little dicey because those late payments can keep showing up until it's closed and then 7 years later. So that can still harm you by keeping it open. So that's where Credit Karma will be more the expert part on it to kind of give you an idea. But you should kind of have an idea of where, not where your credit is, but when you're going to need your inquiries. Hey, 6 months we're going to be looking to buy a house. I need to make sure I don't do anything pool-wise until then.
How many points do hard inquiries, about an average of how many points do they put a ding on our?
It's tough because it compounds. So it's the first one doesn't put that many on, but now the second puts more and the third puts more. So the more you're doing, and you got to look at it this way, especially if Wesley's going all around doing all these inquiries, what we're probably looking at is there must be something wrong why he was unable to get that. So that makes you start being nervous. So then that once again drives down the score.
Gotcha. Okay, here's another question. Does closing a zero balance credit card account hurt my credit score if it was in good standings?
It could, depending on the age of it. The typical way you want to look at credit cards is if you have more than 50% usage on those credit cards, that can hurt you. If you're at 50, it's kind of neutral. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't harm you.
Okay.
If you're 30% or below, but showing that you're using it, then that's when it helps you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, Gary, you have been, oh my God, magazine full of information this morning. We appreciate all of that.
And one last thing before we switch over to Westley. Now, I mentioned affordable home loans, but we have all different types of loans, from VA loans that we can do to jumbo loans. So they're all different types. I just mentioned the affordable home loans because that's my specialty, but I can do all types of loans.
Okay.
And thank y'all very much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So what about the refinance? I know a lot of companies now are offering refinance on autos and all that kind of stuff. Is that in your area?
That would actually, auto loans, anything not a mortgage or a first mortgage is going to be in Wesley's ballpark.
Okay. All right. Gary, thank you so much for sharing all this good information with us. We really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming to be with us today. And he will be here, guys. He will be here for about another 2 hours. He can greet anybody that comes in. If you have more one-on-one questions for him that you didn't want to put out here, I'll be more than happy for you to come by the store. You can shop while you're here. You can get information from these guys, or you can just pick up cards if you're on a lunch break. Pick up a card or whatever, and get back to work. But you can always call them back on have a one-on-one conversation. You don't have to do anything here. As a matter of fact, I spoke with Wesley a few minutes ago. We're not actually physically signing you up on spot today, but we're giving you all the information so that you can review. Okay? Yes, it has been great information. Everybody says it's been great information. They're appreciating it. Appreciate it so much.
I'm going to leave a stack of business cards, so even if you can't make it in right during this time hour, there'll be some business cards for you to take. It has my cell phone directly on there, so you can, and my email address, so you can call me, send me an email, or even text if that's the most convenient for you, if you just have questions. And remember, not everybody's ready to buy today. And so it's part of my job is to work with people to get them where they want to be. So it's to take you from this, we come up with a game plan to get you to where you want to be.
Okay.
So thank y'all again.
Okay. Yes, and I'll have those cards. Shirley, I definitely have a card for you. I make sure that I get it for you so that, because she had, quite a few questions, which were great questions, and I'll make sure that I get that information for you. All right, that's Mr. Gary. If anybody have any further questions for him, all you have to do is just say, I need to ask Gary or whatever, and I'll flip back over to him. But I'm going to take you on over here to Mr. Wesley, and I'm going to go ahead and do it like something like this right here. Boom, there he is. That's Wesley. Wesley is Casteel. Westley is who Gary was basically telling you about. This is our other guy that we need very dearly right now after all this hard hit of pandemic and business struggles and all kinds of good stuff. So Gary, if you'll, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Gary. Wesley, if you'll, if you will just take us to who you are, where you are, what you do, and how you could be of service to us and the community, we will be greatly appreciative of that.
Sure, no problem. Gary probably would like another 3 or 4 hours to talk, but I'm going to take over from here. But no, I am our Vice President and Financial Center Manager for the Walnut branch in downtown Macon. And my job really is to bring the personal touch to your everyday banking for small businesses and consumers. We offer everything from our business checking accounts, business savings accounts, business credit cards, business lines of credit. And then over on the consumer side, we have the consumer checking accounts, consumer savings accounts, your CDs, your IRAs, any type of personal loan, auto loan, HELOCs, like Gary was speaking of. And, the big thing about Cadence, like I said, is it's a big bank with that small bank feel. When you call, we're going to pick up the phone. It's not going to be an automated machine. You're not going to have to pick one or two. We're going to say, hello, how can we help you? And that's kind of where we like to start. My thing with meeting clients, especially small business clients, is that's my background. I had a part of a small business for 12 years before I decided to get into banking. And like I was telling V, I know the mindset. I know what businesses have been through. I know what it's like to start one up. I know what it's like to try to expand to a second location. Being there and going through those those things have really helped me be a better bank manager and being there for our clients. And then on the consumer side, I like to think about how would I like my bank to treat me if I walked in the door. I want them to call me by name. That sounds great, but I also want to know that the products are in my best interest. And we have a lot of great things now that come with our checking accounts. We are so far down the road from what used to be just a regular old checking account with a debit card. You get so many benefits with having a checking account with Cadence. So, it's what we do is broad. I mean, we have so many different avenues that we can take to help on the business side or the consumer side. And, we have a wonderful loan team that helps, like I said, with the personal loans and then the business loans. So, our main thing this year really is to get back out in this community that we love so much and to stop in and check on our business clients that already bank with us or that don't bank with us and see what can we do to help, because it's been a tough year and we know that, and it's time for us to get back out and do as much as we can. And we pretty much, when we kind of were locked down last year like most places were, the whole time we were thinking, how are we going to get back out in this community and make a positive difference? And being here today is just one of those small steps, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be here. Like I said, we could talk all day about the different things that we offer on the business and consumer side. So, it's one of those things where checking, business checking and personal checking and banking in general, it's not what it used to be. And we understand there's a lot of online offers here and there from different places, but we want to give you that person that you can call on and that you can go and sit down and talk to. And my door is always open, and I've got a wonderful team down there, that work with me, that they're always there to help to take that next step and help you in any way we can.
Okay. So, Wesley, tell us, I heard you say something about the IRAs or whatever, because, sometimes in small businesses, we really don't do IRAs, 401ks, because there's only so much you can afford, actually, to tell you straight truth. But what do you recommend for a small business owner as far as the retirement part of it, IRA, or explain a little bit about IRA and the difference in how that works.
Sure. So when we're talking about IRAs and CDs, that's more on a personal basis for the business owner, not necessarily pertaining to the business itself. CDs are typically a much more short-term type of investment. IRAs usually lock into a little bit longer term, even though they do offer some short ones as well. This last year with the pandemic has seen the deposit rates come down for sure. But on the flip side of that, the purchasing rates, auto loans and your HELOCs and your mortgages, all those rates have come down. So they sometimes do work hand in hand. In a business sense, the first thing I would talk to business clients about is to make sure you set yourselves up for success when it comes to, don't just have one simple business account and a checking account and checks that come off that account. Make sure you take advantage of our business savings that earns interest on the business money, or our business money markets. They work just the same as personal. They earn you interest, but it's a great way for businesses to set aside the rainy day funds that can build up as time goes on. So there's avenues you can take personally. Like I said, with the CDs and IRAs, we're hoping and wishing that these rates continue to rise. They will, as we begin to continue to come out of this pandemic and start to see that economic growth. But right now, it's on the business side of things, I think it's really smart to take advantage of the business savings and the business money markets instead of having it all in one account, and take advantage of earning a little bit of interest.
Okay. So, business credit cards, are you the one that handles those type of things for us? And okay. All right. Anything?
Yeah, we do the business credit cards. We do the consumer credit cards. We got a fantastic consumer credit card program going on right now. That if you have another credit card, you can move the balance over to our Cadence Visa credit card, and 5.99 interest rate for the life of that balance transfer. So you can pay down that balance for the life of it for 5.99% interest.
Oh, wow.
Because we know that the interest rates on most credit cards are in the 18s and the 20s, and they're just killing you every month. So that's a really special program, in my opinion, if you've got that credit card that's been trouble paying it down.
Okay.
And that actually helps on the mortgage side when you're able to do that balance transfer, because when we're looking at that payment part, that's going to be a lower payment. So that's going to lower your debt to income. So by doing that balance transfer, it can help you be in a better position to get a little slightly larger house. So if you're paying $100 less there, that's $100 that can go towards your home. So by doing those credit cards, whether it's a business or personal, with the balance transfer, it'll lower that payment for you, and that'll be able to allow us to help you get a better home.
Okay. I have a question. Can he speak to, is it SEP IRA and the maximum contribution allowed each year?
No, I'm sorry, what was that again?
I think
SEP, SEP?
Yeah, and we, even though we've got some different knowledges, we can't really give any kind of tax advice. We do encourage you to go see your tax agent. So even with those IRAs, I would go see your tax agent, because right now, if you're having to pay back, you can still open an IRA that'll count for last year for you. So I will definitely do that, and then come see Wesley. Go to your accountant, and then go see Wesley, because that can really help you, and then they'll be able to tell you more about those limits. But unfortunately, for business purpose, we can't actually recommend anything tax-wise for you.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay.
sorry I jumped in on
No,
this.
we are.
No, it's fine.
Great information from you both.
Well, and I'll say this too, on the checking account side, one of the things that I wanted to talk about also was when you get a checking account with us, like I said, it's not your normal checking account. With our Cadence Green, Gold, and Gold Plus checking accounts, you actually get 24/7 roadside assistance that comes with those accounts that you may be paying extra for. You get that free with your account. We also do a cell phone protection program. So if you're paying your cell phone bill with our checking accounts, if your phone is broken or accidentally broken or stolen, they will replace. They will give you $400, up to $600 actually, to replace that broken or stolen cell phone. So
Now, I'm sorry. Which account was this?
that would be the Green, the Gold, and the Gold Plus.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the benefits that are coming with these accounts now to me are on a whole nother level than what they're used to. They're really wanting to take care of the client in full. What's our everyday activities like? So just another benefit for like the Gold Plus checking account, which is our top of the line checking account, comes with the max of all the benefits. You get free ATM usage at all foreign ATMs in your area. So if you can't make it to a Cadence, you can go to any ATM and they won't charge you a fee, or that fee will be refunded to your account by having that Gold Plus Cadence checking account.
Okay. Wonderful.
Does it give like travel insurance, life insurance stuff?
Yep, they have accidental death insurance that comes with the accounts. They have up to 180 days. So when you make a purchase for 180 days, up to $2,500, Cadence will cover your purchase if it's accidentally broken.
Okay.
So we really want to be there every step of the way, not just the bank that you just check on your mobile app, which we have a new wonderful mobile app coming out as well, but also someone that you can call, get answers when you need it, drop in, say hey to us. We'll give you a financial review. We call it a little financial checkup just to make sure everything's looking good, or to see if there's other products that we can offer, maybe give you more interest, or to take care of you in a better way.
Okay. Have a question for you, Wesley. What's the program called that you were saying about I think it was about the transfer, and they were wanting to know what credit score is needed for that, I guess, to get approved for that Cadence account.
So that's actually the Cadence Visa credit card. That's our new credit card program we have going on. But what it does is when you apply for that credit card, the interest rates your credit score varies obviously. So they will look at you depending on what your credit score is to approve and what your line of credit would be. So there's really no exact rate that we go by. A credit score that we go by. But what you can do is you can take the credit card that you have and move that you can transfer that balance over to the new credit card and have that 5.99% interest rate for the life of that balance. So say you owe $5,000 on another credit card, you can actually move it over to our Cadence Visa if you get approved for a $5,000 or greater line of credit, and then have 5.99% interest to pay that down. So it's on the credit card, not necessarily an account itself.
Okay. So you can only move one card to that account, or can you move multiple cards? What's the max?
I want to say right now I have to check and make sure. I want to say it's one balance transfer over.
Okay.
Of that, the amount that you've got approved for. So, like I said, even if you got other credit cards, I would say take the largest one that you got if you have that type of line of credit on that card and pay it down.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wesley. Any questions for Wesley?
I do want to say for the mortgage part, the best thing to do is probably to go to Walnut location, let them sit down with you for a financial review so they can help get you into the right direction.
Okay.
So they're gonna give you that first glimpse of, hey, let's sit down, let's see what all options and different things you have. Let's see where your funds are, and they can really help you sort through that part. So that way, when we talk, we've got an idea of what you're trying to do. So that's going back to having that idea in the beginning of what we're trying to do. So by going down there to the Walnut Street location, they'll sit down with you. They'll go through your credit if you're able to bring that in, because we just don't pull credit randomly. But also too, they'll look at your debt that you have, and they'll look at your income. So they'll really be able to do a financial review for you and give you some suggestions. Because it may be, hey, from Wesley's sitting down with you, hey, right now it probably looks like you may need to just save a little bit. So why don't we open a savings account for you and let's put a little bit aside, and then 3 months let's review that and see where we are. So they can help put a plan together too to get you into their home, because we work in conjunction together. So once hey, Wesley will call, he'll say, hey, I've got this client here, we went through some things, and it looks like they're in a position they're ready to start looking for a home. And he just passes it off, so that way you don't have to go through it all again. Wesley will give me the synopsis of what's going on, and then that way we can just pick up from there and then get you taken care of. But I highly suggest going down there first and speaking with them to get as much information about yourself as possible to get started.
Okay. One other question here is, what's the best avenue for a young adult to establish credit? And that's probably,
That would be, in my opinion, we have what's called a secure credit card also. So what you do is it's a $300, I think all the way up to $5,000, but most folks put $300 to $500. You put your own money up, but they give you a secure credit card of that balance. And as you use it and make your payments on time, it'll actually boost your credit score up and start to give you some kind of credit. Credit history, I used to think when I was younger, I'm like, I've got to have a great credit score because I don't have anything. Well, they tell you quickly, you don't have any credit history. And so having that history in beginning, whether it be that secure credit card, or if you're a little further down the road where you're ready for a regular credit card, to me, having your checking accounts, keeping that positive balance in those checking accounts, which we'll do everything we can to keep you on that right track. That's the easiest and earliest ways to start building some credit.
okay. Another question for you, Wesley. If you guys offer accounts for teens or students, including debit cards.
So we can start all the way, I think, at 16 years old.
Okay.
In that, we don't necessarily have a student account, but we do have what's called the blue checking account. So the blue checking account, if they keep an average balance of $250 or more over the course of the month, that's not daily or just a particular time of the day, but that's an average over the course of the month. The account will be actually a free account. It does come with a debit card, and it does come with some of the benefits that having a Cadence checking account comes with. So that would be, to me, the best advertisement for our younger students or college kids looking for that first checking account.
Okay. All right, everybody. That's our two financial gurus up in here today. And then I have with us, who just popped in, the VP, Mr. David Danzy himself. You want to come over and holler at everybody for us, Mr. Danzy? And if you have any further questions for him as well, but these guys have been awesome. I mean, I've dealt with both of them already. Love it. Loving my experience with Cadence Bank. So, like I said, now I have all three of them in the house. So,
And David will talk, so y'all might be here for a while.
They had me before, so they understand. But I ain't talking. This is y'all's show today, so I'm just here to support.
He's here to support. So, Mr. Danzy is VP. You VP of Cadence. You in the house
Commercial lending in South House and Lake
Okay.
Road in Warner Robins.
in Warner Robins. Okay. So if you have any further questions, all three of them are here now. So you can go ahead and start popping in. Are the fees attached with using credit cards? Shirley. Okay, Shirley, you ask him.
See y'all.
He said, this one is for Wesley. Yeah. Are there fees attached with using your debit card?
So there's the only fees that you will see is we have the overdraft protection on our checking accounts. It goes to $500 into the negative. So, and the reason we have that there is because we all have those times where things get real tight, and then you may still have the power bill or another bill that comes through that you need to use. Or you may be out to dinner and you need to pay for the groceries or pay for that dinner. So what happens is, if you have that overdraft protection on your account, it will let you go up, like I said, to $500 into the negative, but it does charge you a $36 fee for every one of those transactions. So granted, it can get a little out of control, but I like having it on accounts for myself or anyone else, just because it's that safety net. If something was to happen, you know you can still get that bill paid or get that check at dinner paid. You don't have to go back there and wash dishes to get out of there. So that's the only fees you will see when using a debit card.
Okay.
And also too, if you use with Cadence Bank, and we've got we've got, 10, 12 locations right here in Middle Georgia, but let's say you're usually at a gas station or different places. If you use an all-point ATM, that is part of the network we're in, and you won't get charged fees. So just look for that all-point sign, so that way you don't get charged those fees if it's a non-Cadence. So if you're somewhere, now we've got locations from Gray to Unadilla, but let's say you're somewhere in between, towards Valdosta or somewhere, and you need to use it. Just look for an all-point, and then that way you don't have to experience any fees. And that's with any of our Cadence cards.
Okay, because that was a question. Is there an each use fee? I think they were saying.
No, we encourage people to use their cards.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you so much, Wesley. Thank you so much, Mr. Danzy. I appreciate all three of you coming in today to give us all this good information. This is some information I've been wanting to know and ask for a while, especially for business banking as well as personal banking. So we really appreciate you, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for allowing, they'll be here, like I say, guys, from for about another hour or two. And if you could come by and just kind of meet them personally, you can get their cards, their information, share information with your friends, your family, anyone who may be needing some more information in reference to business and business banking, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get checked out so we can have lunch. For the first 10 people that show up today, you get the lunch from Honey Baked Ham, and you will be able to eat, drink, dine, and shop with us today. How about that? Where you go and get all that right there? Huh? Where you get that from? All right. I got to get out of here because we got some people coming in. I want to go ahead and accommodate all the people that have come through already. Thank you all so much for joining in with us today. It's your girl V. As always, great. Everybody's great. Y'all can give the thumbs up to hearts. Could you please post their contact? Yes, they want contact information. I'll give you, and I want to tell you about the little golf thing they got going on too before we check out. If you don't mind, please, Gary, if you'll share a phone number where they could reach you.
Okay, I can be reached at 478 444 2738.
Okay.
That number again is 478 444 2738, and you can call or text. And then my email address is as simple as Gary, Gary.Rosser, ROSSER, @cadencebank.com.
Okay. Darlene, if you're in town, if you could swing through here, you can meet them, and I could give you cards right now on spot. So please come through if you're in town. That would be awesome. She owns Freestyle Arts and Design. She's also another business owner.
Okay, awesome.
So, so that would be awesome. Shirley Reed, I have information for you. Shirley's wants some more personal information, and then she was asking the questions about the housing for, rental or whatever. So I'll make sure that you get that. Manya, I'll get information for you. She was asking about the team banking. So we'll make sure that we take care of her in reference to that. What else did we have? Credit scores. Daphne White, I'll get more information for you. She was asking those questions about the scores and that kind of stuff. She was wanting to say I paid off the car, but it decreased my score. So that she might want a little bit more information in reference to that one. Okay. Let me see, who else did we have here? Yeah, Shirley. Okay. Any more questions? Anybody? Any more questions? Come on, let's come on here and make this money, save this money, spend this money, buy these houses, or whatever we want to do. Let's go ahead and make some things happen now. Now's the time to kind of pop back from COVID-19 and bounce back into the real world, okay? All right. So I'm going to put it on over here to you, Wesley. If you will, please leave your information for us.
Sure. I am down at the Walnut Street branch, Cadence branch, downtown Macon, 700 Walnut Street, Macon, Georgia, 31201. And my contact number, you can either call the branch at 478-796-6100, or my direct line is 478-796-6126, and that'll go straight to my desk. And then my email address is Wesley, that's WESLEY, .Casteel, CASTEEL, @cadencebank.com. And I do encourage you, please, to drop by, come meet the team. And we have, like I said, a wonderful group of folks that will be there to answer the call anytime you call, and to be there to help if you drop in. So, and my door is always open as well.
Okay. I'm gonna point back right over here to Gary. Gary has a drive that they're working on right now, so I'll share that information. If you know anybody that's wanting to be a part of this. But Gary, go ahead and give us a little information about that.
Okay, I drive to support. We're working with the Salvation Army on helping to. Most people don't know they have a homeless shelter there for veterans and families, and so we're driving to support and help them. So they have a golf tournament on April 12th, and so we're looking for not only sponsorship but also golfers out there to be able to help. As you know, this winter was rough, with homelessness, and they've been doing a great job with the Warm Center, and so we just want to just add our piece to it. Once again, as Cadence, we're trying to help our community, be a part of our community, serve our community. And these type of things really help out. I mean, they're doing great things at the Salvation Army. They actually fix the lunches, sandwiches every day for the Warm Center. Wow. And so most people don't know that. So for us on Cadence, the Cadence team all throughout Middle Georgia area goes on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help make those sandwiches. So if you've got free time, if you can contact Salvation Army, I know they need people to help. Just make sandwiches for. They're practicing social distancing as you're making it, so usually it's just you and one or two other people there that are able to make them with social distancing, so their safety is a big part of it. But once again, the Salvation Army is a great golf opportunity, and we're even going to have a dessert bar at the end. So we're doing a couple new and inventive things there. So a lot of homemade desserts at the end, just for those golfers that perform really well, like myself.
Okay, so is there any specific location for Salvation Army that to go in to do the volunteering for, or?
Yeah, you can actually contact the same number that is on here to contact.
Okay.
You can actually contact them. It's usually Miss Carol that handles that.
Okay.
There, and the number is 478.
Closer to you. Okay.
It's 478-746-8572.
Okay.
And she's also the same young lady that can get you registered and everything for the golf tournament. Or if you want to just be a sponsor, you want to contribute, but you may not be the best golfer. You may be like David. So we want top golfers to come out and ones like Mr. Danzy over there to come out and just play and just have a great time. It's going to be a great event. It's the Monday after the Masters, April 12th.
Okay, Monday, April 12th after the Masters. You can support Salvation Army via Cadence with support, with the fund drive. And I'll have one of those flyers here at the store. So if anybody want to post that, and want to share it with churches or your church location or any kind of organization, please feel free. More than happy to do that. You would think I work for Cadence Bank, honey. I'm bagging them. I'm bagging them up, baby. I'm bagging them up. So yeah, I don't work for Cadence Bank. Yeah. Anyway, how about that? Never know what God has in store for us. But but I am truly, truly grateful. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I appreciate you always. I love you much. Always here if you need anything. I'll be here today until 5. This is our shopping day, regular shopping day, but come in and have lunch with us and meet these wonderful guys and let them help us move to a whole nother level. Okay. All right, everybody. It's your girl V, and I got to check out. Okay. See you later.